How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more Historic Brawl. One of the things that I was thinking about is that we've basically been focusing mainly on like combo and spell type decks. Like we have some creature storm decks in there, right? But I wanted to try like a big cheat into play creature deck. And Neera Wild Mage came up as a potential option for that kind of build. Because she lets you cast a spell from the top of your library without paying its mana cost, right? So if we cast a Cathartic Reunion and we have a Kozilek on top of our library, we can cast a Kozilek. Now the benefit of using her as a cheat engine is that you get to cast the card, right? So things that have cast triggers that normally aren't that exciting to cheat into play, Neera cheats into play pretty efficiently. Our opponent is thinking over their choices for a bit longer than I would like. They're a Rusko deck, so they shouldn't have too much trouble figuring out what they want to do, but we'll keep this. We lack red mana, and we desperately need red mana, and I normally wouldn't keep a hand like this, but I kind of forgot what I was doing because I was chastising our opponent for being slow. The nice thing about Neera, though, is that she also can cheat into play things that aren't creatures, right? This is not a typical Rusko build. I think Young Pyromancer gets axed here for whatever we want. Lightning Helix seems fine. So Key to the Archive is our only colored source. Yeah, we'll do that. Red. Control Z. So we can Lightning Helix or we can Pyroblast. I think Lightning Helix is probably better. Although it does leave us with nothing to do. Let's get out of full control. Recently, we actually did complete Dark Souls. So I know that this video will go out before that actually happens, so that's technically a spoiler, but I think this video will go out in pair with a video where I kind of got really low in my chances of finishing. Because that was recorded on like the 16th or the 17th, and I thought I only had 24 hours, and I made no progress, and it was kind of sad, but we got there in the end. I do have red sources in the deck. They're just not here for some reason. That share a type with that one perpetual. Wow. So all of our enchantments now cost 1 additional mana. Or is it in hand? Yeah, it's in hand. So actually none of our enchantments cost 1 more. Dude, they have assembled Urzatron, which is disgusting. Yeah, go ahead, resolve. Lukka? Well, we can't cast that. As long as you control a Lukka Planeswalker. I doubt I'm going to control a Lukka Planeswalker too much longer. I kind of thought... Well, I kind of forgot that his -2 isn't a show and tell. It's Transmogrify. what is the original transmogrify called? Polymorph. Yeah, if they take out our, yeah, that's it. That's game over. We don't have red mana, we can't win. Let's double check the deck just to be sure, because I'm pretty sure I fixed the mana base. But I don't know off the top of my head. So, multicolor, not black, get rid of that. Rare mythic land. Yeah, no, they're in the deck, okay. Just making sure. But so you know, if you've watched the channel for a while, that we really don't put much stake into making functional decks, but we do at least want to have the proper mana base most of the time, because that helps us cast spells, and casting spells is the only way to actually get to do what you want to do. A Lotus Field. I like it, but it seems a little unlikely at the moment. And these are three of the things that I'd rather just put on top, or put in my, have on the top of my library instead of in my hand. Is Brainstorm legal in this format? I feel like it is. Old Uncle Rustine. Old Uncle Iverstein is a different card with a different mechanic on it. I think he's still a legend though. He might not be though. It's weird because legend I don't think existed back. It might have existed back then. But you had like named characters who weren't legends. The one with Phyrexia spoilers have been coming out, and it's very, very exciting. Mainly because we're actually getting a commander in a new color combination. So one of the things that Arena as like a Brawl client has been lacking, because there technically haven't been any in Brawl, is just commanders for the 4 color combinations. And Atraxa is coming to MTGA, and it is a 4 color combination commander for we'll give them some of these. Yeah, it's a commander for the color combination that is red, white, not red, black, white, green, and blue. It's only missing red. So this is exciting because sometimes you want to build like a 4 color deck, but if you want to do that currently on Arena, like if you need 4 colors to perform a specific combo, you have to basically choose a 5 color commander and just leave out the 5th color. Now there are a couple of 5 color commanders on the client that are practical to do that with, mainly the ones that are a 5 color commander because they have an activated ability with I think I want to kill the Provisioner, if I'm being honest. Because there's not a lot of damage here. There's a lot of creatures, but not a lot of damage. Yeah. So there is, you'd basically have to choose, like, a Gigantha. Something that's red and green, but also taps for all 5 colors of mana as your commander. So that way you could use the color combination you want without having to basically forego having a commander. Because you couldn't do it with... So you could do it with Golos, you could do it with Gigantha. The 5 color dragon from Kamigawa is also an option. And then like General Tazri. I wanted to tap them, but okay. Should have went full control first. They still don't have a lot of damage, which is what I'm more focused on. Like, if we draw a Wrath, we're out of this. Although, like, the Elf Ball will get there eventually, right? Like, that's an Elf Ball card. I don't want to try. Yeah, there's our 6 mana. It's unfortunately tapped. Let's make some tokens. Yeah, one of the deck building limitations with building around her, like if we want to use her ability to cheat in spells, right? We kind of want them to be more than 6 mana. Because at this point in the game, right, we have to decide on whether or not we're actually going to play Neera Wild Mage, or whether it's more worth it to just plop down a Ancient Copper Dragon. And honestly, the Ancient Copper Dragon just wins. Because if it swings out, we kind of just make a bunch of treasures. And I wanted to use more of the Ixalan dual cards, because they're kind of like sneaky ramp, right? And like they get reasonable effects for what they're doing. Blaming Star has been very kind to us. You know, they have not put much damage our way, which I do really like. So we're gonna go Ancient Copper Dragon. It is our turn 6 play, and out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Out of the 16 creatures on board, it is the strongest. So any, you know, I think the plan on their end was to have some of their creatures die. I think that's what that was. I think they were expecting a more aggressive meta, that we would be swinging into them. And like, we want to do that, but we are a little behind at the moment. We have not really been drawing lands that much. Like, this is turn 6. We've technically only played... Have we played 6 lands? No, because we only have 5 mana. We should have at least 1 more land. We did sack 2, right? For our Lotus field with no value. Well, this is going to be crazy. 19! Wow. Okay, yeah, no, I'll take it. I will take it. Let's, 10 treasures. Let's exile that and that. Drakuseth? Like, I did not expect to get this far. I thought for sure we would be stopped. But we were not stopped. Reach is good. Reach is good. I can't believe we rolled 19 on a Copper Dragon. That's bonkers. We have 2 lands that make 3 mana apiece too. I was complaining about our lack of land drops, but they kind of sorted themselves out when you're playing with lands that make a bunch of mana. And I'm just going to get a couple of free kills here for no reason. That's going to be nice. And then next turn we just mow down the board. I feel like we're fine, but we're also a little low. Well, let's swing, because we actually just threw the perfect answer. 4 here. 2 there, 2 there. And then we'll get rid of that. I think it's GG, honestly. About to say we can Hour of Devastation into Godfarer's Gift. And that's not counting whatever treasures we get off of Ancient Copper Dragon. And we deal an obscene amount of damage, right? Like, so they block here, we deal 13. I guess a 13 plus, you know, where it's super lethal, okay. We didn't even need to worry about what we were going to do after the attack, because we just had enough. So that was our game 1, which was obscenely long. I'm glad that it got going, because the deck kind of stumbled there pretty hard. Do at least one more game, hopefully a third, but if we start pushing 30 minutes, we'll have to move on to the next deck in our lineup. It's a Garrick deck. It's a Lotus Field. And it's expensive, but it feels worth it. I think I might actually sacrifice my only 2 lands next turn. That actually helps my Spire Bluff come in untapped. So we're going to have 6 mana next turn. No, 5 mana. I think we Terror of the Peaks. He's a pretty good boy. Whether or not he survives against the green deck, I don't know. Flying tends to be that's rude. Why didn't you fight? This is awkward. Our opponent missed their trigger, I think. Now I have 6 mana. I could be nice and give them their trigger back, but I think we just play Neera. We go for the throat, unfortunately. You know, it's one of the weirder dichotomies of Magic where being nice to your opponent doesn't actually help them, right? Like, if we're nice to our opponent, boy, I needed that for stuff, you know? for stuff. Oh my god. Does that do anything? It doesn't. Guess we just try to win the race. It's not going to work, but you never know. I mean, we got kicked back down to 5 mana, unfortunately. If we ever get back up... So what are we going to do here? I don't think this works. But we are just dead. Our opponent responded to our brutality with more brutality. I couldn't be more proud. Dude, Helm of the Host and a Kogla is kind of sick, though. But Purphoros, he's indestructible. It's a lot of damage. I wonder if I should try to add some MDFCs to the deck. Because that way we could lower our land drops. Which are already underperforming, I know, but it also means that if Neera, if we trigger Neera, we have we go from like a 60% chance to like a 62, 64, depending on how many MDFCs we put in. We'll keep this. Like the two mythic ones are easy inclusions. One of them draws cards, and the other one's a removal spell, right? And if you pay 3 life, they basically yeah, Cathartic Pyre does nothing here. They basically come into play untapped anyway, so... Dude, I want to build another Delina deck, because Delina is just amazing. So that tells me our opponent does not have a counter spell. Yeah, next try I plan on playing a Delina.
I will gladly point out your inadequacies.
Rude. Dude, he's just static. Look at that. Messed up, bro. And he's one-sided too. Dude, Dovin. I love Dovin. He's one of the characters that I feel like Wizards did dirty. Because he's a blue-white planeswalker with like an aggro plan that they just kind of threw in Bolus's camp and then made him a fugitive afterwards. He might have even died afterwards.
Looking to elevate yourself? Perhaps a pair of stilts.
Still no counterspell. I don't think that does anything. Split second could be useful though. Pirate's Pillage can go. So if I attack, I just lose the creature. Next turn we can play the Hullbreak Horror and make copies of it. Because our blue-white opponent does not seem to love counter spells. I don't think that does anything. Well. I'm sorry? Yeah, I'll pay 1 for a Portal to Phyrexia. Seems pretty fair, honestly. And then Delina will make me at least another Scholar of the Trove. 2 Scholars of the Trove. 1 there. Take action, yeah. Man, that was a lot of damage. This is why Delina is probably the better of the 2 wild mages. It always bugged me that these 2 got the same moniker. Like, I don't know their D&D story, so it might be that they're both of the same faction, but could we have a slightly different title? You know, just make it a little bit more reasonable. Our opponent's in a weird spot, because if they just destroy the Portal to Phyrexia, Delina copies Scholar and just goes again. And if you bounce it, I just play it again and I go again. Ulamog? Scholar? Gross and grab. Attack? Only 1 attacking Emrakul. Or Ulamog. Yeah, our opponent GG's. So those were our 3 games. Honestly, better than I thought. Mana base might need some work. I might need to make it a 37 deck instead of, or not a 37 deck, like a 42 deck instead of a 40. But I don't know. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.